What's happening, everybody? It's Billy, the Playmakers A, and we are back with another episode of New York Playmakers. So we've been out for a little bit, so we're going to cover 2 weeks instead of just the one like we usually would. But we'll get started with baseball and the MLB. We're going to go to the New York Yankees. We'll start them off first. Huge signings that just happened. Huge signings. They signed starting pitcher Max Fried to an 8-year, $218 million deal. Huge. That's phenomenal. That's exactly what they were looking for. They needed another starting pitcher out of the rotation. Perfect. Perfect, perfect, perfect. It's exactly what they wanted, exactly what they needed. Now, to go with that, they also traded for Devin Williams. Devin Williams. He'll be phenomenal in the bullpen as our closer, along with Luke Weaver. Phenomenal, phenomenal. Now, in that trade with Devin Williams, we also got rid of Nestor Cortez, an infielder who's in the minor leagues, Caleb Durbin, along with some cash. Now, as most of y'all will know, with Nestor Cortez, he got blown up in the World Series. Not his best outings, especially against freaking Freddie Freeman and his MVP. It's just outrageous. 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 But Nestor Cortez, he couldn't do the job. He could not get it going against any of those Dodgers players, although they're very deserving on that World Series, no matter how much money you have to buy the team. It's just, it wasn't worth keeping around. So we traded for a closer. Now, with Devin Williams, he'll be paired with Luke Weaver sitting in the closer spots to earn the most saves, to be in the bullpen. Phenomenal. Phenomenal. Along with that, going to the relievers, they also re-signed Jonathan Loaizaga, however you say his last name, to a simple one-year deal. And it's simple enough. He was a good arm, but he's got to stay healthy. That's the thing. He's good, but he's got to stay healthy. Now, another huge signing, which, again, a trade. Phenomenal. Cody Bellinger. Cody Bellinger. How do you manage to do that for a simple relief pitcher? That's it. You gave up Cody Petit. Granted, he is a good pitcher. I think he had a 2.22 ERA last season. Again, Cody Bellinger, he could play center field. You move Aaron Judge right to his rightful position over in right field. It's a lot of rights there. And Cody can also play first base. That's exactly what we were looking for. Now that we declined Anthony Rizzo's contract, declined his option, so he's gone. But now you have Cody Bellinger, who can also play first base along with center field. Phenomenal, phenomenal trade. They're still missing that one piece of the puzzle. Just that one small piece in a third baseman or a second baseman. Now, what you could do is hope all goes well. You sign Christian Walker, who's a third baseman. You sign him out of free agency. Then you move Jazz Chisholm back over to second base, where his rightful position is. You have maybe Oswaldo Cabrera in there. He could play in the outfield. He could play pretty much anywhere in the infield as well. You could fully bring up Oswald Peraza, get him some reps over at second base, maybe shortstop, develop for Anthony Volpe on his off days. Or you could just very well do that. First base, again, got rid of Rizzo. it happened. He started falling apart. Rizzo started to really show his age out there, and he just kind of fell apart. Now, personally, going just to Rizzo himself, I think his time is done. I really do think that his time is done, and he should just retire. Won a World Series with the Cubs back in 2016. He's accomplished many feats along his career. He should just hang up the cleats, call it a career. Love the guy. He was great as a clubhouse member. He was great with his teammates. Oh man, I love watching him. I love watching him down in the dugout. Mess around. With all of his teammates, with Judge and even Gleyber Torres when he was on the team. He was a great guy, but you just got to hang up the cleats, man. Got to call it. It's donezo. Done. Gone forever. But again, you go after Christian Walker. Maybe what else you could do is steal from the Mets. Go with Pete Alonso. Pete Alonso is still a free agent. He hasn't signed anywhere yet. He's still a viable option at first base because you can't stick him at DH. That's Giancarlo Stanton's spot. So he cannot play the outfield for anything. For anything he has. No speed and no hustle. So he's just a power bat at DH. So you got to bring Alonso in as a first baseman, as your primary first baseman. That's how you got to bring him in as. You steal him. You steal him from the Mets. You win him over. Pay him his money. Welcome to the club. Welcome to the Yanks, man. Way to be a Bronx Bomber. That's what I think should happen. Ultimately, if all goes well, you bring in Christian Walker. You sign Pete Alonso. And you also got Cody Bellinger. You sign Max Fried. And Devin Williams out of the bullpen. Another bullpen arm that the Yankees are targeting, it seems to be just as of recent, is the left-handed pitcher Tanner Scott. I really like. There's not enough to be said about Tanner Scott. He is just a really, really awesome ball player. No matter where he plays in, he's a great signing, and any team would be lucky to have him. So, again, sign him, have him in your bullpen as your third closer, along with Devin Williams and Luke Weaver. Have that trio of bullpen closing arms. That's your 7th, 8th, and 9th innings right there. I'd probably throw Luke Weaver at the 7th, probably Tanner Scott in the 8th, and Devin Williams in the 9th. I'd say that's pretty fair, to be honest with you. What the Yankees are also looking at is a Japanese pitcher, Roki Sasaki. Looks like they're meeting with him very soon over the weekend. I think maybe today or tomorrow, to be honest with you. It's ideal that you sign him, but nobody really knows. I mean, you had guys like Hideki Matsui, who played for the Yankees, who's from Japan. You also had Masahiro Tanaka, another great starting pitcher from Japan. Ideally, he would look towards the Yankees, but nobody really knows. He hasn't been posted yet. I think it's in a couple weeks, I believe, that he'll be posted in. If I stand corrected, it's 12th, January 12th. I could be wrong on that. Don't take my word for that. But he will be posted soon for everyone to see, for everyone, free agency to come and grab, come in and pick at, no matter what team you are, and wait for him. And now, going down to Queens with the Mets. That's phenomenal. You signed Juan Soto to a 15-year deal worth $765 million damn dollars. Finally, finally, you guys spend a shit ton amount of money for a guy that's worth every penny. He's worth every penny, every dollar, every cent that you spent on him. Now, that's the largest contract in all of MLB history, outbeating Shohei Ohtani's $700 million. But you got this kid who's 26 years old. You got him for 15 years. 15. He'll be playing when he's 41 or 42 years old. Now, the real question is, for a guy this caliber, this phenomenal great of a bat, is he going to stick around for that long? Are injuries going to catch up to him? Is his time going to come closer than we all imagine? We don't know. We don't know. By the looks of it right now, obviously he's in his prime. A great player. He's phenomenal. He's a phenomenal bat. Not that great defensively. If you looked when he was on the Yankees, he didn't do that great in right field. There wasn't that certain amount of hustle that, say, Alex Verdugo had, or Aaron Judge had, or even guys like, Starling Marte or Brandon Nimmo have. Soto doesn't have that hustle that those guys have. But he brings along that phenomenal bat of his. So you could put him at a DH spot if you really wanted to. If you ultimately you really, really wanted to, you could put him at DH. You very well could. I think you should if you're the Mets. Just telling by, his poor numbers in right field last season. You stick him at DH. But if you got to, you gotta play him in the field. You got to. He still has a very stellar arm. His arm is pretty good. It's a little higher end on the scale there, but there's not a lot to it. It's just his arm and his offense. Not so much his defensive capability. He can't really field the ball all that well. Sure, he's made a couple good plays out there, in recent years, but he's just mediocre. He's pretty average in the field. But again, phenomenal signing for the Mets. Phenomenal. 15 years, $765 million. With that being said, what else do you do with it? What else do you have with any extra money that you have left over? Pretty sure Steve Combs worth like over $1 billion. So you got some money to toy around with. So, again, recently, Clay Holmes has signed with the Mets from the Yankees for a 3-year deal that's worth $38 million. Now, going back again with Clay Holmes to the Yankees, he did not work as a closer. He could not save games for Jack. He couldn't do it no matter what the situation he was in, whether it's a real tight, close game, or if it's just, an average save outing. He couldn't do it. But if you push him over, 7th inning or the 6th inning, throw him for a couple innings, he could get it done. He could get that job done. Now, what seems to be the rumor, and probably the definitive truth, is the Mets are going to put him in their starting rotation. Have him as a starting pitcher. Now, I think that could be very beneficial for him. I really do. Again, not that great of a closer, so that's 1 inning. That's 1 inning. But you have him go for 4, 5, 6 innings. I think he could really get the job done. I really think so. He he just needs that longer leash. One could say he needs that longer leash to where you can just start him, throw him to the wolves. Have yourself a day, Clay Holmes. Have yourself a day. The Mets also signed right-handed pitcher Griffin Canning to a 1-year deal. I think it's worth 4.25 mil. Good signing. Another another good arm that they have for a bullpen. I like the kid. He's been great. You know, probably worth it. Worth it for at least this year. You could very well extend him if he performs the way he's supposed to. But you're also still missing starting pitching that you really, really need. Corbin Burns still available somehow. Somehow, some way, he's still available. One of the best arms in the league, and he's still a free agent. Jack Flaherty came from the Dodgers. Still a free agent. A solid, probably fourth starter in your rotation. Good arm, though. Good arm. He's got good pitches. I like him. I've never really had anything bad to say about him. Or you could go, the reunion 2-year, maybe 3. Justin Verlander, Sean Manaea, or Max Scherzer. All great arms, but all older arms. Guys that have been in the league for quite a few years now that they don't have the longevity that the Mets are looking for. But they'd be good for another, 2, maybe 3 years. Maybe. I it's worth it to me, to be honest with you. I really think those arms are worth it. Obviously, they've put up great numbers in the past, with the exception of Sean Manaea. He hasn't had real numbers to back it up. With that, the Mets declined his option, I believe, or he declined theirs, one of the two. So that may not be the case. That may not be the case where you re-sign him. If they're really interested, Roki Sasaki from Japan, another great arm coming over from overseas. You have a meeting with him. You sit him down. You give him the situation. You'll be your number 1 or 2 starter. And pitch him that you just got Juan Soto. Somebody pair him with. Somebody that's new to the ball club. Perfect. Ideal. But who knows what that's really going to happen to. Again, Tanner Scott for bullpen arm. Not a bad idea for the Mets. Not a bad idea for the Yankees. Could go either way. Now, I also noticed that Jock Peterson is also on the radar for the Mets. I really like him. I've always liked Jock Peterson, especially while playing MLB The Show. I rake with him. I rake with Jock Peterson, to be honest with you. He's a great bat. That's what you do. You go after, Corbin Burns, Jack Flaherty. You re-sign Pete Alonso. You attack Jock Peterson. You go after, Roki Sasaki or Tanner Scott, the bullpen. And then you call it a day. You already spent the money on Juan Soto. You have a solid team ready to go with. That's it. Straight up, simple. Because you made it to the playoffs. You, I guess, had a chance. Not really, but you had the opportunity. That's probably a better wording for it. To go up against the Dodgers. You lost, but you made it there. You made it there. You know. What? Either way, that's the Mets. That's the Yankees. Now we're switching over to football, over in the NFL. Um, I, as a personal Giants fan, I don't want to talk about this. This season is just absolutely atrocious for the Giants. They are now 2-12 after losing to the Saints and the Baltimore Ravens, and I don't even know how to describe it. Fashion in very very poor fashion. um, you're on the road again against Atlanta, 7-7 Atlanta Falcons. Um, who are now starting Michael Penix Jr. over Kirk Cousins. Kind of wild. Pretty wild. Starting a rookie over in this time of the year. All right. Let's see what you can do. But for the Giants, it's more than likely another loss. Another loss on the, scorecard. But with that, you're getting a higher draft pick. You're sitting at the first draft pick of, this next year, 2026. Attack quarterbacks. You're going to need them. Drew Lock ain't the answer. Tommy DeVito's not the answer. They are both backups. And that's all they'll ever be. That's all those two will ever be is just backups. Simple enough. So, what do you do? Who do you draft? Now, looking back on the mock drafts and all the draft picks, they say that Cam Ward is probably the favorite to be with the Giants. You have Cam Ward, you have Shedeur Sanders as well. You have Jalen Milroe, you have Quinn Ewers. You got options. This is a very good quarterback draft class. I like them. I like them all. I have no problem with any of them, being drafted by the Giants. But that's what you need to do. You need to go into this draft and you go with a quarterback first round. You have to. You have to. Otherwise, teams like the Raiders, teams like the Jets, they'll go after them first. They will go after quarterbacks heavy first. I'm pretty sure Cam Ward, Shedeur Sanders are going 1 and 2. If the Giants aren't 1, then 2 and 3, 3 and 4. But definitely within the top 5. Top 4, I would most likely say. So you got to go there. You got to, simply enough, you go with a quarterback in their first, with your first draft pick. You got to. You got to. Now, if you don't want to go there, you go with an offensive tackle. Kelvin Banks Jr. out of Texas and Will Campbell. I like them both. Giants need them. God knows that they need them as primary starters, offensive tackle, left tackle. Simple enough. If you don't get a quarterback, that's what you do. You got to attack them. You got to go after them. You got to feed them to the wolves, feed them to the fishes. Sign them. Draft them. You have to. You have to, you have to, you have to. With that being said, a couple positives. Probably the only positives out of the Giants is Malik Neighbors having a stellar rookie season. He leads the team in receiving yards with 901 and leading the team in receptions as well with 90. Phenomenal numbers, dude. Phenomenal. I think he also has four touchdowns in the season. I think 4 or 5. 4, I want to say. But again, phenomenal rookie season, man. It doesn't get any better than that as your star wide receiver. Behind him, you have Darius Slayton, you have Wandale Robinson. All great. The rest of the team is pretty good when it comes to the wide receiving core. Another positive, Tyrone Tracy, huge. He leads the team again with 695 rushing yards. Phenomenal, man. That's what you wanted it out of the rookie. Devin Singletary is more looking like he's looking like the backup now. I think so. I really think he is the backup for a guy that's been in the league for I think 8 years, something like that. Being outshone by a rookie? Man, you're doing something wrong. You are doing something damn wrong. But those are the really only highlights, of the offense that is. Dexter Lawrence, sexy Dexy, he puts up those numbers, and I think he's got 9 sacks on the year. They kind of declined as the year went on. But still, awesome. Yeah, Brian Burns as well who's also doing good. And that's about it for our Giants. That's really about it, man. There's just explode the rest of the season. You lose to every single team that you face, starting with the Falcons. Lose the last 3 games of the season, and you're done. Call it a year. You move on. Go draft a quarterback. Go draft an offensive tackle. Maybe add into the secondary as well. And that's it. You tank, you bomb, goodbye. This year is done. Now, flipping over to the Jets on the other side, or the same side of the same coin. They came off a win against Jacksonville last week. They're now 4-10 on the year. They play at home versus the Rams this week. You lose again. I say you pretty much follow in the Giants' footsteps, and you tank this season. You just build yourself a little hidey hole and go right in it. And don't show up the rest of the season. By the sounds of it, Aaron Rodgers most likely will not come back next year for the Jets. But if he chooses to, he will mentor the next drafted quarterback or, a trade, whoever, for the Jets. He'll mentor them in the next season. Maybe the year after, probably not. That's really putting up to him. But that's the only way he comes back as a mentor. That's really the only way. Time's done. Your time is done, man. Time to hang up the cleats. Adios. You've done so much for the Packers. You've done very little for the Jets. But you had a great career, man. Put it up. Put it up amongst the stars, man. That's simple as done. Again, the Jets could also follow in the Giants' footsteps, and probably should. Drafting a quarterback. Cam Ward, Carson Beck is also one of the favorites out of Georgia. Again, all those guys that I listed: Cam Ward, Quinn Ewers, Carson Beck, Shadur Sanders. Jalen Milroe. You got to go there. Whether you're the Giants or the Jets, you got to go there, man. You just have to sign. You have to draft them. Do what you got to do to get there, but draft them. The Jets could also draft Travis Hunter out of Colorado, who won the Heisman this year. Give it up for him. Give it up for him. Now, some people say it may, uh, and he isn't deserving of the Heisman, or and should just be second place. But it's a two-way guy. He's playing wide receiver and cornerback. He's the Shohei Ohtani of college football. That's the only way you got to look at it, man. That's the only way you got to look at it. I think he's deserving of it. I think so. But, again, you're the Jets. You go out and draft him. As a wide receiver to back up Garrett Wilson. Or you're number 2, you're number 1. Flip-flop him, either way. Or you could put him on defense as a cornerback. I like him, man. I do. So you go out and draft him. Again, you're the Jets. You lose the rest of the season. You're playing the Rams, playing the Bills, and playing the Dolphins. Three games that should be losses. Now, if you're the Bills and you lose to the Jets, I'm sorry, man. What are you doing? You should not be losing to a team like the Jets. Now, I don't think that's going to happen, but, if it happens, why? Just why? But now we're going to flip over to the good side of the script. The Buffalo Bills. God damn. Lights out this season, man. You guys are 11-3. You guys are holding the second seed behind the Chiefs. Play your hearts out, man. Dominate the rest of this year. You have to. You got to, man. You just absolutely have to. Keep rolling with it. Keep rolling in the dubs, baby. Just keep firing away. You keep going with it, man. Just go. Keep winning. Now, your hope is that the Chiefs lose the rest of the season. Probably not going to happen. For the Bills to get the first seed. But the Chiefs are probably going to get another win and lock up their first seed. Either way, the Bills have a phenomenal season, just the way that they should be. Josh Allen, he leads the MVP voting for against Lamar Jackson and Saquon Barkley. Keep rolling with the punches, dude. Just keep tossing them the way that you have been. You have Amari Cooper, you have Dalton Kincaid, Khalil Shakur, and you have James Cook at running back, who's cooking, pun intended. You keep rolling with the punches, dude. You're gonna win MVP. I got a gut feeling, man. I got a feeling right in my gut that Josh Allen will win the MVP this year. If he doesn't, I will be upset, just to say the least. But out of the 3 options, Josh Allen, Lamar Jackson, Saquon Barkley, God rest his soul in Philadelphia after leaving the Giants. Josh Allen, keep rolling with it, man. Keep going. You're on Fuego. Keep going. Just keep going with it, man. Just keep going. Do what you got to do. You lead this team to the playoffs. You're already locked. You already won the division. Just beat the damn Chiefs, for God's sake. Beat them and go to the damn Super Bowl and win that thing. Because by the sounds of it, the Lions are going to be the opponents in the NFC. It's just the way it looks. Nobody really knows. The NFC is stacked. Lions, Eagles, just name those 2. It's stacked on the NFC. But the Bills, the Chiefs, again, for what feels like the 7th year in a row, that's what it's going to come down to in the AFC Championship game. Now, will the refs be paid off? Probably. Probably they will be. Just by telling this whole season, last 2, 3 seasons, going along with the Chiefs, they probably will be paid off. Now, I'm not making accusations, or maybe I am. Who knows? I don't. Maybe I do. Do you? Maybe. Who knows? But either way, if you're the Buffalo Bills, if you're Josh Allen, you do what you have to do and beat the Kansas City Chiefs. Beat them in the AFC Championship game because God knows you're already going to be there. Just do it. Do what you got to do. Win the rest of the season. Play the Pats twice, the Patriots twice, and you play the Jets. Easy wins. Easy wins if you're the Bills, man. All you got to do is wait for the Chiefs to fall, and hopefully they do this week against Houston. Just win. 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 Just do it. Come on now. You got this. If you're the Bills, you got this. All right, man. To wrap things up, we'll go backwards to forwards. Buffalo Bills, keep rocking and rolling. Keep doing your damn thing. Win at all costs. Even if you guys have to pay off the refs. Just dominate the rest of the season. You got 3 games left. 2 against the Patriots, 1 against the Jets. Easy wins. You're already locking the playoffs. You're sitting at second seed right now. Just keep going with it. Keep rolling with the punches and go. Win. If you're the Jets and the Giants, I'm sorry. But you lose the rest of the season. You just complete shit out your brains this season and just go after a higher draft pick. Draft a quarterback. Draft offensive tackles. It's the way that you're supposed to. If you're those teams, because that's your team needs. Along with a wide receiver, your secondary and the cornerbacks and safeties. You go after them if you're the Giants and the Jets, and just lose. Lose the rest of the season. Just completely shit your brains out. And that's it. Now, if you're the Mets, you sign more starting pitching. You got to. Corbin Burns, Jack Flaherty going again. We got to sign them. You got to re-sign Pete Alonso at first base. You trade for you sign Jack Peterson. Again, I like, he's a great bat, great arm, pretty solid in the field defensively. You go in the bullpen again with Tanner Scott. That could work both ways if you're the Yankees or the Mets. Sign Tanner Scott. Again, if you're the Yankees, phenomenal sightings of Max Fried, Cody Bellinger, and Devin Williams. If you're the Mets, Juan Soto was a great deal. It was a great signing. Lock up that meeting with Roki Sasaki if you're either one of those teams. You guys could both use one last starter to finish off your rotation. Lastly, if you're the Yankees, Christian Walker, Tanner Scott, Pete Alonso, go out and sign them. Do what you got to do. That's it. Simple enough. All right. I got to get out of here. I'll see y'all next week. Take it easy.
We were great. We were free. Had a country that couldn't be beat. We were right